So, I know waiting for people to get in here, but this is just me starting to delve into things a little bit. But the plan for this video, this recording, is to start jumping more into the intuitive side, intuitive messages side. So just things that I'm picking up on, things that I'm getting for people. And to expand the reach, expand the abilities, help people expand their gifts. I know it's really interesting because right now what I've been getting as a message is that, hello. What I've been getting as a message is there's a lot of people that are in need of cleansing, right? Cleansing, spiritual cleansing. And so that is something that I realize I'm going to start kind of putting out here more videos about doing different types of cleanses, limpias, right? Different works basically to help people get through what they're going through and help them lift some of these layers of heavy stuff they have going on. But welcome. So we're doing intuitive messages today. So just answering your questions coming up, completely donation based tonight. So whatever you provide is appreciated, but I'm just going to go through and answer questions as I see them, not in any particular order because it gets kind of crazy. So let's see. Karen, I'm saying that right or not, sorry. Is Sam trying to push me out of the project? Let me see. The message I'm getting is kind of like a yes, because what they're showing it to me as is almost like a little intimidation. You happen to be very good at your work. I don't know if it's like an artistry that you're doing, because they show it to me almost like you being talented at it, like you're creating something, or it's maybe something to do with your skill set, but they show it as an artistry. And they're saying you're really good at it and it's intimidating. So it's more so like when people try to jade you just because they're intimidated, not because they're really trying to push you out or get rid of you, right? Karen. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for telling me how to say it. Am I saying it? Karen? That's beautiful. But composer of an opera. Okay, and that makes sense. And that's what it feels like. It's almost like you're talented. That's the only I can describe it. You're talented, or you're more talented than they are. And so what I see them trying to do is like there's a part of them, like, when people get stuck in their ego and they're stuck in their pride and they're kind of like, very envious of someone, it makes them start to act and do things out of character. So that's what I basically see is like almost like them doing certain things because they're jealous and they don't want you to really succeed, but they're not really wishing for your downfall, right? Just going through it. That's what's happening with that. So it's a yes. It can be something that can be worked on, but understand people have that kind of jealousy for you and they don't really want to see you succeed. It's a lot to do with them, not to do with you, right? It's projection. They're projecting their struggles or their insecurities onto you. So you pick and choose how you want to handle that, right? Awesome. Okay, I know I missed some. So like I said, if you're just going to throw them out there because I'm not going to be scrolling back and forth. I'm just going to read as I go. That's what we're doing tonight. Like I said, appreciate donations, likes, all the things. Appreciate you guys. When will I meet someone? Aleika? Am I saying that right? Aleika? When will I meet someone? Aleika. It's hard because they're saying like you could meet someone as soon as March, but a lot of the situation feels like you've been keeping yourself sheltered a little bit. Like when you live a life and you want to have all these certain things happen or you want this certain stuff in life, but you're almost like scared of really putting yourself out there. So there's a little bit of fear there. Like a part of you wants it, but a part of you is also like hiding. And it's not intentional. Like I see you going places, but there's a part about when you're walking around and you want people to see you, people will really see you. But when you have this kind of filter over yourself, right? Just like a level of fear or things that you've been through, that's where it's like blocking some of your frequency. Because when you attract someone, it's a frequency, right? People attract you at the frequency you're in. So if you have this little shelter over yourself because of stuff you've been through in the past, there's something that's kind of working against you attracting someone or letting someone come in. So it's this layer there, and that's what it looks like. It's like you're hiding. And it's really interesting because you're hiding from people in general. People have done you really dirty. And it's not even necessarily just romantic. People have done you dirty just in general, right? It's always something about you doing something wrong, and it goes to your family and it goes to friends, right? So I feel like you've always got people coming at you a certain way. And because of that, it's got you kind of protecting yourself, right? And I get that. And it's because you're for one, you're a healer. You're a healer, and you're meant to change the tide in a lot of different ways. So I see a lot of people coming at you, but it's their projection. Your healing, your light and your healing shines energy on them and things that they don't want to heal. So they automatically come at you a certain way, and you think it's you, and it's not you. You're just the light. Okay. So I need you to step into your power and step into your abilities and know that you get to be yourself and be out here fully, and real people are going to fuck with you that really fuck with you. Or people that really love you are going to love you. You know what I'm saying? And be done with the crap, because the people, yeah, it's just haters. It's just haters. You don't even got to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. So yes, you can meet someone soon. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about recognizing that part and be like, no, I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to have someone come in who can see me for who I am, and that I don't have to be something different to get somebody to love me. That's really what it is. So as early as March, right? But if it's going to take you some time to get into that space and feel more comfortable with like really being seen and being yourself, and like cutting some cords with some people, because some people got to go, then I could say the latest that I see you connecting with someone or meeting someone would be more close around June, July. And and that date wiggles because it's based off of you, right? So I'm just seeing what I'm projecting, seeing from right now where you are. This is what I see. Boop, she can meet someone next month. Boop, she can meet someone in the next 5 months, you know? Just depends. Yeah. Thank you guys for the gifts. I know some people were sending things. I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows. Okay, so I'm trying to throw in the questions here. Sorry if you posted anything. Like I said, I'm picking up stuff. Does Christian think about me often, wondering of a potential romance? Sammy, got you. Potential romance, Christian. Sammy. So, it's a weird situation because they're telling me that there is some kind of flirtiness going on or some kind of attraction back and forth, but a lot of the issues have to do with like different backgrounds or different beliefs. So I kind of almost see it in the sense that like Christian has an attraction towards you, but Christian's not going to pull the trigger or not going to move towards building something or letting a romance actually brew. It's kind of almost like this fun flirty thing, but I don't see it turning into something more. And it's only because of something with Christian's background. I don't know if it's like a parent thing. I don't want to say it's religion based. I don't know why that is what comes to mind, but it has something to do with his background. So it's almost like being prejudged before he even gives you an opportunity to see what the relationship could actually be. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate, because I think there's a really cute connection and energy there, but it's like, what are we doing? Unless you push the agenda. Does that make sense? Like you'd have to be the one to push the agenda, Sammy. You'd have to be the one to kind of pursue it and put it out there a little bit more to kind of put them in a space to say, okay, do you want to see what this could possibly be? Or are you so worried about, your background or your family or whatever that you're going to like lose out on the opportunity? So it's like, I could potentially see something there, but I just feel like they need to wake up. You know what I'm saying? They need to wake up. They're stuck in I don't say the unreal, but the unreal. It's not real, right? Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Kim. Is the lady I physically saw at the store today the same lady I saw in my dream? Woo! The lady I physically saw in the store today, the same lady I saw in my dream. That's a good question. Let me look. Yes. Yes. Because you're clairvoyant. That came out real clear. She's clairvoyant. You're clairvoyant, but you're a seer, right? So you already see stuff. You see stuff past and future. So you've seen her, but you recognized her in a different way. So think about your dream. Your dream was kind of almost like a foreshadowing. So like seeing the situation before you went there, but you've seen her in a different situation, like something from the past. So you recognized her soul. And so all it really was for you was like, I don't want to say deja vu, but like a deja vu, right? You recognized her soul. So in that dream, it was like you're seeing what was going to happen, but you knew her from a different lifetime. Does that make sense? Ah, yeah, a lover in your dream. That's why I said a different situation, different scenario completely. And then you ran into her and you've seen what the connection is from. But it might have something to do with where you are at in your spiritual journey. Because I almost feel like running into that person and knowing them from your past life was not coincidental, right? It's something that was meant to jar you or push you in a certain direction to help you move forward because you've been feeling stuck lately. You know? So that part. Ivan, do you see me having a gold aura, rainbow aura, and being my highest self in this lifetime? Ooh, good question. Ivan, let me look at you. Let me look at you. Um, Interesting. So I do see white, lots of white around you, a little bit of gold, but I see more green, and the green's more so on your left, right. What's this side? Your left side. No, wait, I'm looking at you this way. Your right side. I'm looking at you, so I'm like, it's throwing me off. Okay, your right side, especially right around head, neck, shoulder area, green, vibrant green. Not so much rainbow. You have a kind of like a little bit of this like yellowy gold hue that kind of comes out, but it only comes out more so when you're really excited about something. Okay? When you're excited about something or when you're really feeling like I don't know, like when you're reading somebody or reading a situation and that energy kind of flows out of you and it comes in spurts. It kind of reminds me of like this, like gold, gold, right? Coming out of the white, gold. If that makes sense, that's how it looks. I don't get the rainbow part. No, I don't see that at all. Not right now. Maybe depending on how balanced you are, that might be part of your aura. But when I look at you, I just literally see the green, the white, the green sticking out on that one side, and then like when you're getting like excited, the gold kind of like ping, right? But it's like little hairs. I don't know how to describe it. Like little out your aura. As far as your question about your future, like will you I mean, you're gonna be your highest self. It's kind of a hard question because it's like you are gonna reach to your highest self because that's what you're here for. Your awareness and growing as a soul. So you're gonna continue to grow and reach to your highest self or be aware of your highest version of yourself, right? The only thing that I could say is like you're gonna still have things that you're gonna grow and like lessons you're gonna go through, and this is probably from what I can see into you, this is not gonna be like your last hurrah, your last lifetime on Earth for a while. I feel like you're gonna have some more things to learn. Like you're learning stuff now, and you're starting to remember in some ways like who you really are, but I feel like it's gonna maybe take another lifetime or two for you to really reach the pinnacle that you're like after or what you're looking for on a soul level, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. What I'm trying, how I'm putting it out there, how I'm describing that for you. I love it. So appreciate it. Appreciate the likes. Like I said, just doing donation based if anyone wants to do donations. I think I posted it in my Cash App and my Venmo. So if you have a specific question and you want to make sure I get that question, otherwise I'm just picking them as I go, you can do that also, and I'll pull you to the top. But yay, that was awesome. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Alexa, sorry, one last question from me. What is my aura like? Alexa, what is your aura like? Let me look. Alexa. So, man. So, it's interesting. So, Alexa, for you on your left side, more so towards like your bottom torso, kind of down your legs, is it's like very dark purple. Almost like an eggplant color purple that's on that side. And then you have some white more towards around like the top of your head, or this like this side of your body, the left, right? Am I right? Left, right. No, your left side has the purple. Oh, okay, yeah. And then on the other side, I'm sorry, on the right, there's that white kind of coming out. But what's more so of a concern with your aura is that your aura doesn't go very far, and your aura is not, it's not expanding outward. So my suggestion for you is that you need to do some chakra work, because you have a lot of things that are like closed. You know what I'm saying? Closed energy, closed chakras, closed, like your body's not flowing. Has a lot to do with self-doubt. Self-doubt, or just not feeling like the best right now, or like maybe not feeling like it's confident, or just, like just kind of feeling beat up a little bit. Your chakras are all closed. You're super shut off. Yeah, yeah. And that makes sense. Like you're trying to maybe protect yourself a little bit too. Which there's nothing wrong with that, right? But that's where I'm seeing some of that stuff. So the purple is good. It has to do with like protections, it has to do with the energy of creator. So that has to do with like your creativity and like being connected and protected, but it doesn't reach all the way around. So it's like not giving you enough inspiration to really move forward the way you need to, right? What is dark purple? Yep. That's what I was just gonna say. The dark purple is a creator energy. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you need to work on your chakras and being more open, like being more okay with you and being okay with yourself. I would suggest doing some either chanting through the chakras, or I would say for you specifically, doing some frictioning. So frictioning is like when you rub your hands back and forth together like really fast, right? So it creates that friction, and then you just pull your hands apart. And you can kind of feel your hands kind of yo-yo back because of the energy, and then taking your hands and putting them on each chakra place and just taking a deep breath, and then friction, 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 and then move up to your, your sacral, and then friction, 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 and move up to your solar plexus, and friction, 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 heart, throat, third eye, crown. Good. Yeah. Frictioning is a thing for you. It's because your healing is through your hands. You're a hands-on healer, okay? So, which is it's interesting, right? Cuz some people don't realize there's different types of healers. Yes, we can all, not we all can be healers, cuz some people are not. But people who have certain healing gifts heal in different ways. I am a verbal healer. So what I say is the healing, which is probably why a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, that's what, they can really feel the energy of the healing or feel lifted just from the conversation, because my healing is verbal. Doesn't mean I can't heal with my hands, but that's my main gift. But for you, Alexa, your main healing is through your hands. So that frictioning opens up the hands. Your healing points are literally in the middle palm of your hand. So when you friction them, you're activating your healing tool. And then you're putting them on those chakra points to activate the body, right? That's what's happening. So that's why I'm saying do the frictioning, because it's going to help you put energy and healing into those chakra points so that you can feel just better overall, better, good, connected, loved, giving yourself the energy that you need so that you can be more open. Let your energy flow. Be yourself. You have a lot of talent too, so I need you to step into that, because why not, right? Okay, I missed some questions. If someone had another question, throw it back in there, because like I said, the scrolling up and down is too much for me. You're so welcome, Alexa. The scrolling up and down is too much for me. If you have a question, just throw it in there. I will catch it and see it. I know. Or your guides will yell loud enough to be like, no, hers or him, whoever, theirs. So I'm just doing donations today. So if you have a question, throw it on in. Yeah, we're just doing donation today. I just figured I'd get on and just chill. So we're just doing intuitive answers. So feel free to put whatever question you have in there and I will answer it. But understand, gifts and money is definitely appreciated. But yeah, throw your questions out there. If you guys have questions, if not, then I'll just talk about what I was talking about before, which is just about the cleansing that people need right now. I don't know. It's a big thing. I don't know if it's because we had so much to shift or what, but yeah. Alexa, do you have it? the live, but I can post it on here too. It's the at sign, and then it's Akatra, AK. If you want to send anything, you can. If not, like I said, no big deal. We're just doing free today. I do other lives usually. I'm trying to be more consistent with it. That's the problem. But I do other lives where I'll do like paid questions or whatever specifically. But oh, also know if you guys ever have questions and I'm not on live, feel free to message me. Like for my clients, I just do questions via text. So you can just do them online and message it that way. And it's just $7 a question. And I do the same thing for my clients. So all the good things. I posted my Cash App and my Venmo in there if anybody wants that. But yeah. Chandra, should I leave my current job as a general manager? Man, good question. Chandra, should leave your job as a general manager. Your guides are saying no. Your guides are saying no. And the only reason why they're saying that is because it's two different things. For one, you've worked really hard to get there. And for two, it's almost like I see you trying to go or leave and not being able to find something that's I don't want to say that it pays as much. I'm not saying you can't go find somewhere else that pays as much, but you've really built something there, or you've really built like a team or like a rapport or like respect or something. And maybe it's respect from like your peers or like maybe higher ups or something like that. So you've built a lot of things, and it's going to be like if you move or go somewhere else, it's going to be like starting all over again. And you've already worked so hard to get there. So I feel like that's a lot of what they're talking about for you is like you can leave, but it's going to be a lot more of a struggle unless you have another plan that you're trying to leave too. I don't feel like you have a plan yet. I feel like you're just trying to leave because you're tired. You know what I'm saying? You're tired and overwhelmed, which I'm not saying is not a good reason to leave, but I'm just saying on the financial standpoint, they're making it seem like you've worked so hard to build this, make it into your own. Like you have all the energy and the power to basically take it and start turning things your own way and make it better for now until you figure out what it is you want to do on the other side. Because you have some kind of side hustle or something that you do for money now that you haven't really been able to put energy into, but I don't feel like you're ready to make that leap and put all your energy in to make it happen. Does that make sense? Are you still on here? It's Chandra, right? Manila. Does that make sense though? What they're trying to tell you, like, yeah, you have something on the side that you can do, but you got to put some energy into it to get that up and running so that when you make that transition, it makes sense. Otherwise, you make good money as a general manager. I don't know if you want to go and apply somewhere else as a general manager and work through that channel. I mean, you can. I don't know why I feel like they're telling you no, because they're saying, what's the point of just job hopping? You might as well stay where you're at, where you know what you're doing and you have rapport built up and you know how to manipulate, work the system to get the money that you need, and then work on your side stuff and really put your energy in there because that's ultimately what you want. It's a lot emotionally. Yeah, it is. It is. And honestly, it's because you haven't had a chance to process things in a while. Like you've been through a lot in the last like 6 months, 6 to 8 months, and you haven't had a break or time to process. So I think maybe you need to give yourself that, or you need to go in with a different mindset and be like, this is what I'm about to do. And kind of, do you know what I'm saying? Like start over, go in and start over. Start like, okay, yeah, everything's kind of built up, but I'm going to start doing things this way, or I'm going to start structuring things that way. And even give yourself that sense of like, I'm ready to be out of here by such and such date, and set an intention, because that's going to push you and drive you to get your other stuff up and running so that you don't have to stay there as long as you think you need to. Make sense? Honestly, I could see you being done or leaving by like May, but I think you're not ready to jump right now. Your choice. You can. It's not like you're not going to make it work, because you always make it work, but you're already emotionally exhausted. So why strain yourself if you're not really ready to make the jump? You just need a break. So take a vacation then. Take a couple days off. See if somebody can come in and cover. Restructure some things, put it on your terms so that you're in control, rather than thinking that nothing's in your control and that your life is just, you have no choice. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it feels like you don't have no choice over your life, and you do. So I need you to like take control of your life and be like, okay, yes, I've been through a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of emotional stuff. I'm releasing all this stuff, and I'm going to start focusing on this and this and put this stuff together so I can move forward the way I need to. So it's like, you got all the things you need. You have all the tools that you need. I know you're going to be successful in moving forward the way you need to, but I'm saying you got this. You got this. I promise you, you got this. And I can see it. It's just, you need one day to just really break down and do you, and like, even get a massage, because geez, you haven't had a massage in a minute, and let all this tension off of you. And you also have something at home that's like stressing you out. I need you to let that part go for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, and focus on you. And then you're going to be recharged enough to do what you need to do to get to where you need to go next. Make sense? We have a plan. We have to have a plan. Yeah, I know you don't feel like you have a choice. It's hard. It really is hard, but you're going to see what I'm talking about. It's going to hit you and you're going to be like, okay, I got a plan. I know what to do. So, by May. I say that. You'll be out of there by May. April, May at the latest. So, we got a plan. That's what I say. If you need help, let me know, but you got a plan, I promise. Okay, Chelsea. Can I get a general or whatever message I need to hear? Chelsea. Welcome back, Chelsea. Let's see. I know it's been a while since I see you on live, but I haven't been on live in a while either. So, okay, can I get a general? You need help. Okay. Yeah, just we'll figure something out. I'll say message me, because I usually do a lot of coaching work, so I can help you with coaching, but I just feel like you need to set up a plan and you'll be successful, honestly. Okay, so yeah, Chelsea, let me see what I got for you. General reading. General message. What you need to know. What do you need to know? Okay. It's okay. A couple of things. Your first thing your guide said is stop selling yourself short and stop playing small. Are the very first things that they wanted you to know. Only because they're saying that you're kind of in this state right now where you're kind of, I don't want to say you're bending over backwards for somebody, but you're bending over backwards for somebody. I don't know if you're in a relationship or you're trying to be in a relationship, but you're doing a lot of bending to fit into that situation or to make that person, I don't want to say see you or get you or accept you or something like that, but there's a lot of bending that you're doing to make the relationship work, and you don't have to do that, is what I'm being told to tell you. Ahanja. Hi, sis. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of like a cryptic message. I don't know if you have a specific question, Chelsea, but that's what first they're telling me. They literally show you basically like top tier, right? Like you look good, all these things going for you, but you're doing a lot of bending to try to make people see you a certain way. And it's like they don't want you to bend. They want you to stand strong in who you are and what you are. You don't have to do as much as you think you have to do for people to get you or for people to let you in or get, you know what I'm saying? Get you in the door. I don't know if it feels relationship based, but it also feels like it could be something with work too. So, yeah, that's what it feels like. I know it's not really, because it's not really anything specific. It's more of them just showing you. And they're wanting you to be a little bit more like aware. They don't want you to go through any more trauma. You've been through a lot of trauma and people taking advantage of you. That's the only way I can describe it. People taking advantage of you or trying to abuse you. That's what their concern is that you have this cycle, this pattern, and it's in your family line. So this is some generational stuff. And so it's something that continuously seems like it's happening in your family line, specifically with the women. And so it's almost a message of telling you to like work on helping break it, because they don't want you to be stuck in a cycle. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be able to move forward the way you need to. And they don't want you to get caught up in it, but it requires you to realize like who and what you really are and stand in your light and your power and not feel like you have to move or be moved because of other people's circumstance. You know what I'm saying? You're exhausted. Yeah, I believe it. Because I feel like you're doing a lot of things. Like you're doing a lot of jumping hoops and you're doing a lot of movement. You know what I'm saying? To be appreciated. To be appreciated, to be seen, to be loved. And it makes it hard, So that's what they're basically showing me. Keeping you stuck. Tab, are you on the live? I just seen someone send a payment. I didn't see you jump on unless you are on here and I just didn't see you. Message me if you're on, if you're on the live. If you want to message me, you can message me, text me, or message me on here, because I just seen you sent a payment through. So I was like, what? Overworked, but I'm trying to better my future. No, I get that. You're trying to work to get to where you need to really go, but that's why I feel like it's like they're telling you don't have to work as hard as you think you do. Like you really it's like work smarter, not harder, right? If you really step into your power and you know, like, I'm the shit, right? I got all these things going for me. Your work shows for itself because you automatically already, just the way you carry yourself and the type of work ethic you have, go above and beyond. So it's almost like you not having to do all of that. So that's what they're basically telling you. So that's what they're basically telling you. Funny. It's funny because you're funny. Um, that's what I was basically saying for you, Chelsea. That you got this moving forward. But what I was gonna say, it's funny that you say that because I normally this is the first. This is you can ask. I mean, you guys know this is the first free live I've done in a while. But yeah. But I normally charge, like I said, I don't charge $7 per question. I think the last one I did $7 for a card pull, and then 20 for a question. So tonight's just an open night, an open night of gift and love. It's only because I felt like I needed to get on. I don't know if it's just because it felt like it was more fun to me. I think I'm bored. I feel bored. I think that's what it is. I was like, I'm bored, and people might need some healing and help. So hopefully I'm helping. Helping and healing. Um too funny. But yeah. Anybody else? Any questions? Do you have a question, Tab? You just tuning in. Too funny. Alejandra. It's too funny. Yeah, I know. I haven't done free lives. I haven't done free readings in a minute. Alejandra knows, right? We've been out here. She's my moderator. If y'all don't know, Alejandra is my sister, and she's my moderator. So if there's ever any weird stuff, she can kick people out. But we've been good. Everybody in here has been vibing. It's been beautiful. It's been nice. Giving you guys the messages. So I'm glad I can help. Right? Yeah. Okay. For you, 100. You have a question? Or you just want me to see what I see? Because, you know, it's kind of funny because the message I got for you is like you've started really finding your own, or really listening into your own intuition on a big level. And so what I see for you is like you're starting to, I don't want to say like adjust, but adjust to the truth, adjust to being back at home, and, you know, like working in that environment and starting to open up doors in different ways. So it's been like a blessing in disguise, right? And you're going to continue going after what you want to go after, but they're kind of pointing out to you that you're starting to really step into your own as a healer, as a medicine woman. Um, a lot of intuition coming in, a lot of following your gut, right? Taking care of situations, taking care of people, being a guide. So you're going to do all the same things that I do: teaching, healing, readings, medicine. All the things, all the things. I want to know if my godmother is okay. Did she feel me when she passed away? I'm sorry for your loss. Um, yes, definitely felt you. Well, it felt you around the whole entire time as you were like tapping into her or tuning into her, right? As she was sick and like laying there. So I know that was definitely hard, but definitely knew you were there. Also, she's part of your lineage. So there's something about them saying also like, yeah, she's going up to be healed, but she might be back down. So don't feel like you lost her, right? Yeah. Yulia. Is it Yulia? I don't know why I say your name was Yulia. Is your name Yulia? It just came to my head. Can you tell me what it's looking like for me at work? Looking like at work. Oh, you're so welcome, sis. Um, Yulisa. Oh, pretty. That's a beautiful name. Um, okay. let me let me answer your question, Yuli. Yeah, everything has been working out for you. You already knew the doors are going to open up. You were supposed to be there, so that whole move was a blessing, and it's going to continue to be a blessing because that's where you're supposed to be. But I appreciate you for the gift and the donation. That was beautiful. If you have any other questions, feel free to throw it out though. Okay. Yuli, can you tell me what? Okay, the work. Yeah, what it's looking like for you at work. Do. Mm. So there's kind of a lot of stuff going on at your work. I don't know if they're going through some sort of like new rollout or they're doing a lot of like restructuring, but that's what I see is like almost like the company's got a lot of different moving parts and you're kind of in this weird state because I feel like you can be in two different departments or two different teams potentially. And so it makes you feel like your job's kind of up in the air because you don't know what that's going to look like or where that's going to go for you. So you're a little scared, right? A little scared or a little cautious or a little confused like, right? Where's this going to really go? Um it doesn't look like it's going to lead to you being like fired or anything. It just feels like mm, I don't know why, but they're telling me to tell you that you need to make yourself indisposable. And I almost feel like in the sense of saying like you have other skill set or things that you know how to do or that you can be doing that they're looking to see how to like restructure these teams and like you could be the one leading that, but you got to step into it because you standing in the background, right? Thank you for sharing the live. You standing in the background though, and just kind of waiting to see what happens is gonna leave you at the shit end of the stick. That's the only way I can describe it. That's the words that come to mind when I say it. Like I literally see you kind of being put in a rock and a hard place and either being put on something you don't want to be in or literally kind of being I don't want to say pushed out, but pushed out because your company is kind of shady, right? A little shady. They don't really care about the employees. That's that corporate life. But that's what I'm more concerned with. They're telling you that you have an opportunity to kind of get ahead of it and push and create your own space without having to deal with that crap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you have a lot of skills. So don't let them push you out of there or make you feel like your position's what is the word? Illimitable. Am I saying that right? Illimit, illimitable, I don't. You know what I'm trying to say? That somehow your job can be eliminated. Cause no, you know what I'm saying? No, 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 no. But you will be fine. I don't see you being fired. I just think that they're trying to push you to get to that place so you can like have control over your life and not let people just be able to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Alexa, thank you for the gift. I don't know if you had another question or not. I think I seen something. You were posting something earlier, but let me know if you have another question or not. But thank you so much. I did need to come out of the background. Thank you so much for the message. You got it. Thank you guys for the follows and the likes and the shares and the gifts that people have provided and given. That was really nice. Um, yeah, we're just vibing. Donation. today, donation based. I wonder if that's why people keep jumping out of the live too. They think, oh, she's trying to charge. I don't want to deal with it, and they're missing out. They don't even know that today is donation based. It is what it is. People who are meant to be here will be here. That's exactly the intention I put out there. I said I'm gonna come on here. I'm just gonna vibe. I'm gonna answer questions. I'm just gonna have pop on, and the ones that don't. And we're not gonna have no BS. And there's gonna be no weird energy in here because I don't have time for that. And that's what we're doing. What kind of role do you see me being really good in? What gifts? I guess in time. What role? What role? That's kind of an open question. It's interesting. As much as I feel like you try to keep to yourself or hide a little bit, right? Like you're starting to open back up. But what they literally show you're good at is hosting, like hosting, or like I don't know if you meant like what your gifts are spiritually, because I can answer that question too. But what they're showing it to me as when you said that was more of like what's a good role for you, and they literally said hosting and like party planning, like party planning, events, hosting, like things basically where you get to really shine and show your talents as a like organizer or creative. Um, you have a way of like putting things together that really flow beautifully. I think that's why they're saying like, oh, like it comes in line with like designer, party planner, coordinator, like event leader. Um, you'd be really good at like hosting events, like I said, or like even running retreats or something like that. Because there's something about you. I don't know how to describe it, but you're really good at leading people forward, and you have a way of putting and organizing things that flow. That's really what it is. As far as your gifts, like spiritually, um, you have sight and you have hearing, so you can see and you can hear. They just need to be fine tuned, right? So you've had some of those experiences in the past, like things you've seen or things that you've kind of like heard, but you weren't sure if you heard it or not, right? Um, it just takes time to develop those things, and as you develop them, you'll be able to use those things and kind of do work, do spiritual work if you wanted to do spiritual work. I guess like kind of like readings. I don't know if readings is really your per se forte. Like you could do them, but you probably would do them more as like a card reader. Um, the only reason why I say that is that I don't know. I don't think readings is really your gift. I feel like your gift is more about inspiration, like inspiring people or leading them or helping them be seen. So it's not so much like that's your gift is to be a reader, but you can read people. But that makes sense. How are you going to inspire people and lead them? How are you going to read people to know how to put their parties together or what they really desire, what they want? Like how are you going to read into the situation to help them feel like special and inspired? That's why I think they're saying party planner. Because think about you being able to read into someone and really knowing like what it is that they are looking for. Like they're telling you, but you can really see like a vision of what that would look like, and then you create this a beautiful moment where they just feel like so special. How beautiful would that be? Makes sense. That's what I see. That's what I see. Um, yeah, yeah. It's all about just getting tuned in, but it starts with doing the work that I'm talking about, right? Starting to work on your chakras, starting to cleanse. That's why I started the whole. This is why I started the live off talking about is the cleansing. It's such a thing right now. Everybody is slacking on the cleansing. I don't think people realize that cleansing is a thing. Okay, you can do your shadow work, right? Like work on your inner child self and work on your past traumas and work on forgiveness and release, and you can start working on like opening up your chakra points, all the different things, right? But if you're not going to cleanse the energy as it's coming up, your body will naturally get rid of some of it, right? especially empaths, and you know what I'm saying. Like your body will naturally get rid of it, and certain things that you do will over time get rid of it. But if you were to really jump on it and cleanse, it would be so much easier for you. So when you think about your life flowing, right? You might be out here and your life is really flowing and things are really good, and then things start becoming mucky and slow and stagnant, and there's like all these little hiccups in your plans and all these different things. Sometimes that hiccup, you might think, oh, maybe it's just I'm supposed to be chilling right now, I'm not supposed to do that. Or you may think, get different ideas of thinking, oh, I'm not supposed to, go this direction or whatever. And it could literally just be that you're so heavy with stuff that you've done picked up from other people or stuff that you're in the process of releasing, because we're going through big transition so far this year. This is just bam, bam, bam. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been a transition uh, since since shit. I was saying November, even maybe even August of last year. It's been one thing after another. Like every month has been like an up upgrade. But anyways, my point is, you could be struggling in your life and not realize that it's just because you're heavy with other people's stuff. Because you're an empath and you pull things in and you have all this stuff around you, and especially if you do healing work, right? Like the most people in here do some kind of healing work. I know a couple of you guys for sure because I know you guys. But the healing work that we do, like between mental health, therapy, right? All that stuff, you're constantly taking stuff. So you got to be on top of your cleansing, right? Not to put you on blast, but you got to be on top of your cleansing because you take on the most. I know that you do because how big your heart is, for one. But me too, right? I've been slacking. I'm not even gonna lie. I have been slacking on my cleansing. That's why I said such a big thing. What I suggest for you, Tab, what I suggest, what I'm seeing for you, is to literally take a lemon. Yeah, you need this. This is so your guys are like, tell her, tell her, tell her. Take a lemon. You're gonna take a lemon. You're gonna cut it the long way and cut it a long way in half, and then cut it again and make it into four. So it's four quarters, right? And then you're gonna put some salt on it, some regular like table salt, non-iodized table salt. And then you're gonna get in the shower and you're gonna wash like you normally would wash up, and then you're gonna take the wedges, like have them sit on the side of the tub or whatever. Take the wedges and you're gonna scrub with that salt and that lemon, and it's gonna cut all the bull off. And then you're gonna do each lemon, and then put it back on the plate or whatever you have, and go through and do each lemon until you do all four of them, and then you're gonna put that lemon in like a paper bag or whatever you want to put in it and throw it out. Um, Alexa, yeah, please feel free to reach out if you guys have. Thank you for the gift. But I need you to do that, okay? I'm gonna need you to take the lemon and do your thing because yeah, you need it, and you're gonna feel so much better after you do it. I swear. Um, yeah, you really both should do it, both of you. You know what I mean? Not to put, I'm not putting all the putting your thing out, but both of you really need to do it. So, um, yeah, that's what we're gonna be on. That's what we're gonna be on. But yeah, Alexa, feel free to reach out to me, message me. Like I said, I do questions I do questions all the time. So any of you guys follow the live, follow me, just like I said, oh, I got a question, just message me. Once you message me, I'll just give you my work number, and then you can just text me. Text me is way easier because I respond to that obviously like in the same day or within the 24 hours. Where on here, I'm not always realizing I have messages or whatever. But or if you need a full reading, feel free to reach out. I have my page on here, so you can go to my link tree and go to my actual website. But I don't have as much availability on there just because I'm always busy. But I do readings too. If you want like a full reading about everything and giving you all the messages and stuff. And the readings I do $30 is 65, and then for an hour is 110. But yeah, that part. Oh, you're good. No, I was saying the lemon and the salt. That's what I feel like she needed specifically. You guys can all do that cleanse. Don't feel like that's something you can't do just because I gave it to her specifically. I was telling her that because her guys were like, this is what she specifically needs. But anybody can do the lemon and salt cleanse. Like I said, cut it the long way in half, then cut it again so it creates four wedges. and then you just put some salt on it, non-iodized salt, and you're gonna scrub with the salt after you do your regular wash in the shower, and then rinse. You know, you don't want to wash off the energy. You're basically scrubbing with it to cleanse your energy, neck down only, and then you rinse off the energy and let it go down the drain. So that's what I would suggest, and that will help you guys a lot. I think what other cleansers are good. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. If you are, I need to put that on there too. I didn't realize, but I was gonna say if you guys needed to cleanse other ways too, like obviously like using like smudge, using sage, Palo Santo, Yerba Santa, sweetgrass. You can really use really a lot of different things. Frankincense and myrrh. There's so many different. I make uh, essential oil sprays that I make specifically with like intention and crystals and energy and all the things. I bless them. Now that's what you want to use if you're not someone who's used to doing cleansing or you don't have time to do cleanses like that with the salt and the lemon. Then you would want to get the sprays because that is a just and just cuts everything. That may be what you need, Alexa. Honestly, when I just said the sprays, that's what I've seen for you. And honestly, you specifically could use two different ones. The love spray, because the love really has to do with like being more open, self love, attracting good intention, good love towards you. Yeah, you really need it. It's like to help you with luck too, right? And then the other one I see you need is juju. I make a juju spray, and it's to cut the BS when you have a lot of jealous people around you. That's what you have. A lot of people that are very envious and jealous of you. So, makes sense. But yeah, the sprays are in my shop too, on my link tree. It should be on my Etsy shop. Um, you know, or message me or whatever. But that's what I suggest. That's what I see for you, honestly. Anybody else? Any other questions? Like I said, we're doing donation based, just vibing out here. Appreciate all the likes, all the love. I probably should have changed. Nope, that ain't a big deal. I probably should have changed it that it says on the top of it because when people come to live, but I don't know if it says it's paid or whatever. But it does say donations if people take the chance to read it. But it is what it is. Anybody else have any questions? Anything at all? I don't know what else I can give you guys as things to help you with your journey forward. But cleansing definitely is the biggest one. Meditation also a given. If you're trying to develop yourself in any possible way, meditation, cleansing, prayer, or connection, whatever your background or belief is, prayer, connection. I'm trying to think what else is really good. Those are probably the biggest ones. You should know also that cleansing can be the things you normally do every day, right? When you go for a walk, when you go to the gym, when you take a shower, when you drink water, those can all be cleanses. All you gotta do is put an intention with it and be like, okay, right? They naturally cleanse anyway, especially exercise. Exercise natural. It's moving your blood. It's moving the oxygen throughout the body as you're doing breath, which is why breath work is such a big thing that builds your spiritual strength because it's oxygenizing your blood that's moving that fresh air throughout the bloodstream. That's a cleanse in itself. But imagine adding intention on top of that and how powerful that type of cleanse is too, right? Um, yeah. So that's what's going on with it. Anybody else have any questions at all? It can be anything. Anything you're curious about, anything you want to know, anything personally about yourself, or do you want to know anything about anything spiritual? Uh, whatever. While I'm still alive, I'm trying to think of what else I could talk about. I had nothing intentional that I was thinking about at the time. I just was thinking, oh, cleansing was a big thing that came to my mindset. I just made a spiritual bath. That's probably why. I just made a spiritual bath. Um, The spiritual bath that I make is what we call a whitewash. It's like a purity bath. It purifies the energy, purifies the aura. It's not something I sell on my Etsy. I don't really know why. Oh, because it has milk in it, and I have to be worried about how to get it sent or shipped to people without it spoiling. And you have to send it in like cases with like like what do you call those, like freezer blocks in them or whatever. Like when they send stuff for like Hello Fresh, something like that. So I don't want nothing like that to get around. But people who live in the city, I live in Minnesota. People that live in the city can get access to it. Usually it's fine. I have shipped it before, like to different states depending on where you're going, and usually it's fine because it has alcohol and stuff in it. But yeah, have a good night, Alexa. You're gonna have some really interesting dreams now that you have all this stuff kind of circulate around in your mindset and you're ready to move yourself forward. It's gonna really open up some doors for you in your dreams. You may want to start getting into journaling. You start writing down your dreams as soon as you wake up in the morning to see kind of where your messages are. It's gonna open up the doors for you too. But have a good night for sure. Appreciate you being alive. Appreciate the gift. Anybody else? Anything else? Any questions? Comments? Anything at all? I was gonna say intuitive three questions. I don't know if I can change the thing though. If anybody has any intuitive questions. Put that on there. Okay, about me. I guess I could change it. Take that part out somewhere. Maybe I won't. That work. Okay, have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for sending me that information too, so I can follow up and see how to push things forward. So, yeah. Does it sound muffled? Can you hear me now? Perfect. Thank you. I didn't know. It's probably because I was holding it, and then it's your hand gets tired holding it. I usually have I usually do my lives on my stand in my office space, but I just didn't feel like honestly getting up and going in there and setting it all up and all the things. I was just like, I'm just gonna get on live and it's gonna be really chill readings today. So we're just doing intuitive. So if there's any questions you guys have, anything you want to know, I'm just answering intuitive questions today, for free or donation based. So if you guys have any questions while I'm still on, probably be on for a little bit longer. I think it's like, what time is it? No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't realize, but now I know it's because I was holding it. My hand was like getting tired, so I think my hand was moving closer and closer. Like, it's funny, but thank you for letting me know. um, anybody, anything. Julia, will I get any money back from Sean? Ooh, good question. Do 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 do. Mm. Um, your guides are saying no, and they're saying it's weird because they're saying Sean is dead. I don't know if they mean it in the sense he's dead to you or the situation is dead because they're using the word dead very specifically. I wish people quit trying to join the live so I can just not be distracted. No, but they're not showing any money coming back. I kind of feel like the situation's already passed, or it's already past some certain threshold. So to get the money back would be like opening up another can of worms, or opening up, you know what I'm saying? Getting, I don't want to say getting you invested or involved in it, but getting involved with it. And it's like, it's better maybe for you to cut your losses and move past it than trying to figure out how to get the money back from them. Because it feels like it's already past that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even worth it at this point. It's just something for you to know in the future, not to I don't want to say not to be so helpful, because I know that's naturally who you are. Like, you're naturally a person that wants to help where you can. And if you have something extra, like, try to extend and do things for people. But I feel like that just, it sometimes leads you in a place where you get taken advantage of, or where people kind of like continuously come to you for certain stuff. And it just puts you in a weird boat, because you don't want to have to be the one to say no. But that your guides wanted me to tell you, they're saying you have to understand sometimes, there are certain situations, like, and this is something that was kind of ingrained in you or put in you from a young age. It's something you've seen in your family line. When I think about like your mom or your grandma, and just like the sense of being there and supporting each other and giving and supporting the family. But there's something they want you to know, because you're like the matriarch. Like, you're supposed to be stepping into this certain role of helping break things in your family. Your sister was supposed to, but you're the one that's going to do it, I guess, is what they're kind of pointing it out to me as. And they're saying you have to understand that in some situations within your family or within people that you have around you, you sometimes hinder them from learning the lesson they're meant to learn, because you're stepping in and taking the bullet for them. Does that make sense? If they're going through something, some kind of hardship, something that they need to go through and experience so that they can overcome it, and you're always the one there to support them or help them, then they never learn how to do it for themselves. So there's a lesson in that for you to be aware of, but it has something to do with breaking something in your family line generationally. Does that make sense? I just want you to be aware. Thank you guys for the lives. But that's what they wanted you to know, because you are meant to step into it. You have is it she an older sister, or is it your aunt? I keep looking at your family line. It's gonna fall on your shoulders. If you don't do it, then it's gonna fall on your children. You know what I'm saying? Or your grandchildren, actually, because that's what I see, like a granddaughter of yours potentially. Your boyfriend. Yeah. I bet, because he's looking at it like, well, you're doing way too much for people. But that, it's natural. You're a naturally well, you're a healer for one, and you're naturally just, you're a kind-hearted, loving person. You want to see the good in people. You want to let people, like, give them some support, and especially in ways that you weren't supported. Especially when I think about you when you're younger, like your earlier ages or whatever, like your early 20s or your child stuff. I feel like there was a lot of times where you wish that people would have been there for you in different ways. So I feel like you're trying to help, but there's a lesson in there, and it's really been hard. It's been a hard lesson for me to learn too, that it's like, okay, yes, you can help them, but help them help themselves, right? Or give them the tools, or give them the advice, or help support them in certain ways, but help them support themselves. Otherwise they're never going to get the lesson, and then you're taking on you take on the karma when you do that. And it's such a thing. I don't think people realize that we take on people's karma, because now we're interfering in their lessons. Yeah, step back a little bit. You don't have to let them fall. How about you step back and give them the tools, and they can choose if to take those tools or not. Like, if they needed support with money, what if you tell them, like, how will we do this instead? When you get paid on Friday, you give me the $40 that you always ask me to borrow every week, and I'll hold on to it for you. And then when you need it, I can give it back to you. But every paycheck, you give me that $40 so that you know that you have the $40 in the back pocket. And that's you helping them, but it's them making the initiative to give you the $40. Right? Win-win. Compared to you always giving them 40, and then they never learn how to budget their money, and they continuously come at you. They never learn a lesson of taking care of themselves, right? So that's what they're trying to get you to realize, something like that. But yeah. Yeah, you can't. You can't. It's not your responsibility. You can help support in certain ways, you can give advice, but you can't raise, right? Because that's the lesson for her. She chose to have children. This is the path that it's going to take her to grow in whatever way she needs to grow, or whatever challenges that your grandson needs to go through, right? That are part of his growth. There's so many different ways of how this is supposed to work out. It's all divine, God's plan. It will work out the way it needs to, and you'll know where you need to help and intersect, and you'll know, you know what I'm saying, like where you need to do certain things, but don't get caught up, overdoing and causing yourself more heartache. Thank you guys for the likes. Hmm. Yeah, because she wasn't really ready to be a mom. Not 100%. Like she was excited about it, but she really wasn't ready to step into that role. Because she's still a child herself, a child at heart, like there's still things that she's trying to figure out for herself and things that she hasn't worked through and healed. And so it's going to be a process. And that's where you get to be a support, you know? Thank you for the follow also. Um, yeah, it's all going to work out though. For everybody's greatest good. But it's really good for you to set boundaries because you that's a thing for you in general is boundaries because I see that happens to you at work as well where you don't where you get taken advantage of and that's not even people that you want to help. It just naturally happens because you don't have those good boundaries in place. Not to jump into everything, jumping into your whole story, but you're the only one asking questions. Anybody else got a question too? They can throw it out. But yeah, you can ask another question for sure, Julia. Julia. Okay, will I get a job related to my degree? It's almost been a year since I graduated. Ooh wee. Um, man. Um, that's hard because when I look at your career, I feel like there's not a lot of sources out there. I feel like the people that have the job that you're working in or that you were looking into, are people that keep those jobs for a long time and they don't need a lot of them. Did you go to school I don't want to say business planning or like something building planning or I don't know why I feel like it's a job that has something to do with structure. Does that make sense? I don't know why the word structure comes to mind, but what is the field? When I look at it, I feel like it's scarcity in it in general. You might have to do something that's like a variation of that or something where you can use that skill set, but in maybe in a different parameter. Medical. So what's the structure part of the medical? Did you go to school like to be like in a specific field as a medical like practitioner? Like not I don't see it as a doctor. Did you go to be like a certain type of like healer or a type of like what's it called? Like when you work like a certain like a specific practice. Ultrasound tech. Perfect. I was gonna say it reminds me of somewhere where I see people. Okay, structure. Okay, it's okay. That makes sense. Because I feel like it's a job that people don't leave because they make really good money, right? And it's not so many people that are needed in that field. So you might have to do something a little variation of that. But they make really good money. You know what I'm saying? So dang. Will you find a job in that field? I feel like you will at some point, but right now I just feel like there's a lot of scarcity, but I need you to push. Like push it energetically because you have abilities, okay? So I need you to push it energetically. I almost need you to see yourself like in a specific job at a certain hospital or whatever or a certain clinic and see you in that role and then apply for it. But I think you've been looking and you haven't really seen a lot of options. But I feel like there's going to be something coming soon enough. But it's been hard because I feel like you were going through something before too, so you really weren't necessarily looking all the time. It's like when you would look would be when you felt really like I don't want to say down, but when you felt down or kind of like I don't want to say in your feelings, but in your feelings is when I feel like you were really looking. So it's like, yeah, I can see it though. I can see it in the sense of you getting into that place and that field, but I almost feel like in a way you went and did that field because it does pay really well and you are just naturally a healer. So it makes sense to me of why you're going that route, but I almost feel like that's not where you're going to end up ultimately anyways. It might just be you getting your foot in the door and getting into that medical side, but then you're going to be doing some kind of different practice yourself, which kind of makes sense when I think about you running the ultrasound and being a tech. That electrical side makes it feel like you could even be like a practitioner who does, what the hell is it called? It's like frequency therapy. You're meant to do healing in a different way than I think you think. The medical part makes sense because it's like, okay, that's healing, but that's not what I see. I see you doing things holistic approach at some point, but that's a good way to get in. So I would say as far as you getting into your field that you paid for and getting into doing the ultrasound tech stuff, it may not be until later this year. They're saying September, maybe sooner, but you got to really put the intention out there and be on it, if that makes sense. Okay, Julia. Will Rick and I get married? Ooh. Yes. Yes. They're using the word eventually, and I think that's like it's been a thing for a while, meaning that you've kind of hinted or you put it out there, but it's not really been pursued just yet. So they're saying eventually. It's kind of almost a thing where I feel like he just knows that you guys are basically married. You guys already kind of have this, you know, we're married. Like that's the vibe it feels. So if anything, it's going to be more of like this push to just, I don't want to say him pushing you just to get it done, but just being like, okay, I'm sick of her complaining about it. Okay, do you want to marry? Do you want to marry me? Kind of a vibe. Not that he's not like in love with you or anything like that, but he just kind of like doesn't care about the titling part and being like, "Lo, let's have rings and get married." He just knows like we're together and we're happy. What's the problem? You know, he's a guy. I'm not saying all guys are like that. I'm just saying that's the vibe I gives me is he don't really care. He's just like, okay, like yeah, I love you. I think we're already married, but okay. As far as when he'll make that push, you got to kind of push him into that because that's really what it feels like. It's almost like you're saying on it or speaking on it, and then he's like, "Okay, fine, right?" But as far as a time frame of you guys getting like married, kind of feel like you guys are already engaged in a way. Mm, it may not be until like next year, like 2025. Maybe around like March, April. I don't know. I feel like March or April is like a date for you guys. Maybe it's someone's birthday or something, or it's close to something like a date. That's what I see. Far, welcome back. Welcome back. Well, I feel better after talking with Eric. Ooh, that's a good question because you and Eric have been kind of going through it. Will you feel better? I mean, yes. Yes, I feel like you always do feel better. I feel like once you guys have an understanding of where you stand, you honestly do feel better, you know? Um, it's just hard sometimes because I feel like the two of you are in two different places. So I feel like maybe sometimes Eric doesn't get where you're coming from or doesn't know, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't, almost like sometimes maybe Eric says what they feel like they need to say or what they think you need to hear instead of telling you the truth. Or being maybe more honest with you. I feel like that ends up to a lot of miscommunication in your situation. But as far as making you feel better, yes. But it feels like it's like one of those situations where you feel good for a moment and then it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like back to the stuff. Our birthday is in April. Yay! See, I knew it was close to a birthday. I almost like he was trying to make it special, right? March, April, somewhere right there. Makes sense. My headboard. It's funny because this is just a divider. It's just a divider, just laid out. I thought it was really cool because the headboards they have are like really expensive, the wood ones. I don't know why they're so expensive, but they are. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna make my own. So I just got a divider, and it wasn't that expensive. I got it off Amazon, and it's just laid out. But it's perfect. Um, da 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 da. Have I met my soulmate yet? Is that King Ratchet? If you're still in here, have I met my soulmate yet? Da 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 da. One of them, right? Soulmates is a loose term because soulmate is someone that you recognize from a different lifetime. Doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. It just means that you guys are meant to go through something together on a soul level and that your soul recognizes them from a different lifetime. So when I look at it, I see that you have met a soulmate and someone that it could potentially grow into something more. But when I look at the relationship, it feels like a lot of back and forth and some struggle there, a little miscommunication, some ego, right? So something you guys need to work on to jump into that relationship more or for it to grow into something bigger. But you're young, is what I'm being shown. Like you guys are young, still trying to figure things out. Still trying to figure things out. Does he want to get back together? That's the thing. Get back together. Not really. I feel like a part of them does because you're like a comfort. You're a comfort. They like the security and the safety of being in a relationship with you. But when I look at the situation, I feel like they do a lot of gaslighting. That's why I said you're gonna feel a sense of like, yeah, it's gonna feel better once you guys talk and go over things because it's like an instant fix, right? You're gonna feel like, oh, better about the situation, better about where you guys stand with each other, like back into communicating, but it's not moving anything forward. So it's like that's where I get the gaslighting part. Like, why don't they just be more honest with you and tell you what it really is or how they really feel instead of making you feel like it's gonna move forward and it's gonna be all good when it's really not. You know what I'm saying? Alexa, I'm back in bed, but I'm back in, but in bed. I feel it. I'm in bed too. Because it's so interesting, right? Just curious. You said you see me as a healer, but in what way? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I see you as a healer, like doing some kind of healing work. That's why I said I could see it playing into roles with your ultrasound tech part, like of you doing frequency therapy or frequency healing, right? But I can also see you doing, I don't want to say shaman work. I don't know if there's shamans in your family line, but shaman work is what I'm being told. So healing, like remedies, soul work, it kind of depends on what you get tapped into, but I think you haven't really fully stepped into all of that yet. You're just starting to kind of learn more about who you are, what your gifts are, is how I would describe it. So I feel like it's going to be within time. So that's why I said start with ultrasound work because it's going to be in that medical side. It's going to make you feel like I really love doing this and working with people and helping them, and it kind of opens up that door into the healing part and then kind of going from there, especially when you can tune into people when you're using like the ultrasound machine and you can see stuff like from your training, right, your medical training, but then you can feel what they really need. And that's what's going to bother you is like when you think about medicine, they want to automatically go with like a medical solution, right? We're going to cut something out or we're going to give you medication for it, where you may see something different because of your healing abilities. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to go for you when you really get into it. Let's see. Alexa, I should have brought water. Did I have? Oh, I did bring water. I'm like, dang, did I bring water? What does Johnny think about me? Johnny. Um, Johnny is really into you on the physical aspect because your guide said he likes the way you rock your hips. Your guides are funny. They start singing the song, rock your hips and wave and sip. It's physical. It doesn't mean he doesn't like you as a person. I'm just saying that that's really what it is. A lot of physical connection, physical attraction to you. But there's something more. There's something I think more that can develop. But I almost feel like I don't know if Johnny is just because he's. I don't know. I don't really get the vibe that he's younger than you, but his mentality feels younger. But sometimes men are not as mature as women, I guess is how I would describe it. So that's what it reminds me of almost like he's still has like a younger mentality about like moving forward, or like relationships, something like that. So I just kind of feel like you may be more ahead of him, or you may know more of what you want, or maybe he's not being as like upfront or forthcoming about it. He's trying to play it cool when he knows he really like is infatuated with you. Makes sense. Um awesome. Yay. I'm just reading your guys' comments. um Yay. Thank you. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the connection and the likes and the questions. Doesn't open up easily. Yeah. I mean, it's been a mystery. You and Eric have been having this thing for a while. I just feel like it's hard because I feel like you're wanting to build something more, but you can't really move forward the way you want to because they're not stepping up the way they need to. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that they shut down every time you bring up something serious or you try to get more of a clear answer doesn't help the situation either, right? Man. Anybody else? Anything else? Yeah. Relationships. Relationships. That's why it's funny because I changed my name on there. Far was with me before. My name had my Lim Tutu name on there. That's still my business name, but I changed it to the Love Psychic because that's what I realized I do the most of is love readings. When he'll reach out. When will he reach out? It's hard because I feel like there's a constant something going back and forth, or maybe it's like the thoughts, you guys thinking of each other, or him thinking of you. I don't know. I just keep seeing this part of being like, okay, there's a constant something happening for connection, but then I just don't see a lot of follow through. So I feel like, okay, you guys could talk. Like maybe I keep seeing them about Thursday, so maybe this was that tomorrow. Today's Wednesday technically, right? But maybe Thursday. But nothing's clear or set 'cause I feel like there's not a plan yet. May I ask how will finances turn out for me? Hmm. Um, that's kind of an open question too, because turn out for you like in the next what period of time? Because like over time, like your finances are not going to be bad. I just feel like there's a part where I see you kind of feeling a little bit more strapped, I guess I say, or a little bit more like money's a little bit more tight. But nothing where you're in like a dire situation or you're struggling or you're, like being evicted or something like that. It just feels like there's a lot of um I don't know, a lot of um I don't want to say struggle. Struggle is the word that comes to mind. I just feel like things could be better, is what they're kind of pointing out to me. I don't think it's going to be like that forever. I just think until you can get into a field, like into your job field, or get into a job that's making like that kind of money, it's going to feel like things are a little bit tight, especially when I feel like you want to do a lot of traveling and you're not able to do as much of that because of just kind of working the jobs that you've been working, right? So it may be a little while that it feels like you're kind of going through it, or you have to kind of work a little bit harder to do the things that you want to do. But I would say maybe a big shift in the next couple months, something around April, May. That's what I see. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured too. That you're it feels like a struggle right now financially, but it's gonna shift. It's gonna get easier. Is my point. I don't know if it's because you're gonna be working something different, or you're gonna have some different money coming in from like the job, or maybe another job you're doing. But I feel like you're gonna be able to be a little bit more comfortable maybe around April. So that might be that soonest that you might be able to find a job, but you got to put the intention out there and kind of stay on top of it. If that makes sense. Someone is that you might be able to find a job, but you got to put the intention out there and kind of stay on top of it. If that makes sense. Someone just sent a pay. Tiana, are you in here? Okay. What's your question? Because I know you sent a payment. I don't think you asked anything, did you? Oh, maybe. And then I'll answer your guys' questions. Bring payments to the top. Yeah, you do hear. You do hear a cat purring. She's just laying here. Ah, jeez. Well, Tiana, you can send your question whenever you want, and I'll definitely answer it as soon as it pops up. Julia, how can I ask my spirit guides for help? Oh, yeah, you just ask. It's literally just you tuning in and letting your guides come through. So it's like whatever you have going on that you're needing help with, whether it's stuff with your daughter or if it's stuff just in general with like whatever, finances, a relationship, just ask them. It's the same thing of like when you pray, right? You ask, God, whatever your belief, right? God, creator, for assistance and help. It's the same thing asking your guides. Can you guys help me work on this? Can you guys help me show this way? How you know if they've, well, I don't even say how they hear you. I'm not saying, how do you know if they hear you? Like, it's really not a thing about not hearing you. Like, they hear you anyways. But, I would say you can set up little signs for them and say, okay, well, if you guys, heard my message, like, show me a sign of this. Or I usually say something pick something that's kind of like, I don't want to say obscure, but something that just seems random. Like, oh, I'm going to see a yellow car. And then randomly you'll see a yellow car. It's like your indication of like, okay, it's working. So I'd say something like that if you wanted to connect with the guides. Tiana. Okay. Just wondering if it's potential for me and Shane's relationship to be long term or not. Good question. Um, Shane and your relationship to be long term. Man. Yes. It can be long term. I can't tell you that it can't be. It can be long term. It's just hard because there's a lot of healing needed on both of your ends. It's not even just one person or the other. It's like you guys kind of end up butting heads because you guys are triggering each other in your relationship. Okay? That's literally what it is. Triggers. Constant triggers. You trigger them, he triggers you, you're triggering each other, and that's why it seems like there's so much blow up or like issues, or you guys have these little like tiffs, or you have these like breakup. They're not even really breakups, right? But just disagreements. And it may seem like it's been a lot more recently, or a lot more just kind of like, I don't know if the irritation, but irritation. But it's only because we're going through a shift right now where all your greatest fears are coming up. So I feel like it's triggering both of you a lot because both of you have a lot of fears and a lot of trauma and a lot of like PTSD, right? So like stuff from your childhood. So it's triggering all those fears, and you guys have two different attachment styles. You have more of an anxious attachment style, and he has more of a avoidant attachment style, which is interesting because you guys kind of flap back and forth with that. So it's like the more that you try to look for reassurance and get him to be like on the same page or commit or to just be, like to acknowledge you or think about you in situations, the more that it makes him shut down and seem distant, which makes you think he's doing something or he's cheating, and he's not. So it's a whole fucking thing. You're checked out. Yeah, I believe you are, because that's what it is. When you go through those triggers and you're not getting what you need from that partnership, and you feel like you're the one who's constantly trying and the constant one keeping things flowing, and they're not putting any effort in, then you just become like, I'm done, right? But understand that it has to do with the triggers. And the thing is that you have to work on, this is what your guide's telling me to tell you, is that if you're going to be in the relationship with him, you have to accept him for where he's at right now. It doesn't mean don't hold him accountable or set boundaries or move things forward, but you either have to decide if you want to be with him and accept him for where he's at right now in his healing journey, or walk away. It's up to you. But it has potential for you guys to grow, but you guys have to deal with the stuff that you're not dealing with. You need to focus on you and your healing, yes. But at the same time, work on the relationship. Notice what the triggers are. When he does certain things, what's the trigger and why is it triggering you? Where is it stemming from? When in your lifetime in the past did someone make you feel that way? Did your mom make you feel like that? Did your dad make you feel like that? You have to start kind of working through these things to understand where they're coming from so you can get ahead of it instead of fighting with him and start dealing with it internally. You're so welcome, Far. Have a good night. Sorry if I missed anything else. I don't know if you posted anything else in here, but he doesn't really plan. When he proposed, he didn't plan it or tell anybody ahead of time. Oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense, Far. But yeah, you guys will figure it out. I just feel like for him, he's got a lot of stuff to figure out and a lot of fears. Alexa, he is hot. Uh, Jules, okay, I got you. In the next year or so, oh, your finances are gonna be better, like I said, in April, like this April coming up. It's gonna start getting easier, and then by the time you get this job, and that might be as soon as April, but what I was seeing is more September. Then you'll be fine. Once that money's flowing in, you'll be fine. Do you have any recommendations for me to start dating, Alexa? Recommendations. Um, for me to start dating. I don't know. I guess my recommendation probably is for you to work on the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like open up the door, cleansing, right? Like the chakra stuff. Like start to open up the flow first because you can go out there and start dating, but I feel like you're gonna keep having these like I don't know superficial relationships that don't really seem to go anywhere. That's what I would suggest. But I'm trying to catch up with the question, guys. Sorry. Mm, definitely triggers of worry and anxiety. What are my spirit guides like? Can you tell me anything they want to tell me? What are they like? I mean, hey, your guides are funny. I know that because when I just tuned into one of your guides, she's kind of got like a personality like you. I guess I would say a little bit more like fun loving, right? Sweetheart until you cross her the wrong way. That's one of your guides. You kind of have a team. It's like you have like four people on your team right now. Um, anything they want you to know? Not really. I mean, all the stuff that I gave you was from your guides. It's kind of the same thing they're reiterating, just basically saying like it's time for you to focus on you and start becoming more open and like start really stepping into who you are and like all those things are gonna start to lead you towards being able to connect with your guides yourself too. So, yay, Tiana. Yay. I know I haven't been on in a while. Uh, so I appreciate it, and I appreciate the payment as well. That was nice. Alexa, you guys are funny. I know 'cause I'm not consistent with my lives. I'll be busy, honest to God. Um, could my mom be one of my spirit guides? She passed in 2020. Sorry for your loss. Let me look at your team. Um, she's not. She's not one of your spirit guides, but she does tune in as an ancestor. So like, there's two different things. You have your spiritual team, your spirit guides. Those are the ones that were like given to you by Creator God, right? Divine. And then you have your ancestor team depending on like your background, but your mom tunes in as your ancestor. So like certain things she'll come down for, or certain things that she knows you're like going through a hard time. Like I feel like she'll come to you or tune into you for that, but she's not necessarily a guide, if that makes sense. It's really interesting. But you'll feel her presence sometimes, or you'll have her in your dreams. That's the same thing, of having her as a connection. It's just not in a way like your guides are with you all the time and your mom's not with you all the time, I guess is how I would describe it. Do you think pursuing ultrasound was the right thing for me to do? I mean, financially, yeah, because it does make good money. It really makes good money. And I could see that when you said that, when you're like, oh, I met a call. I was like, oh, I couldn't think of what I was going to call it. I'm like, there's some kind of technical, like a job you do, but it's not something that necessarily like a doctor, but you have all this medical understanding, right? So you can take the images and stuff for the ultrasound. It makes so much sense. I mean, it makes sense for you. There's never a wrong way to go. Let me tell you guys that in general. Whatever your situations are, whatever your questions, there's not a wrong direction. Whatever direction you went through was for a purpose and a reason. That's why I said understand. It makes sense why you went to ultrasound work, because you're meant to be in that medical field so you can look and see into people. See into people. You see what I'm saying? To see what's going on with them. It's going to help develop your third eye. It's going to help develop your abilities as a shaman. You have shaman in your family line. That's why they keep saying shaman. As a shaman, it's such a powerful thing. You must have a background. I mean, there's shamans in different cultures, but it feels almost like it could be tied to like a native side or like Middle Eastern, kind of like gypsy vibe. Shaman. I don't know what your background is, but that's what it gives me. Um, so the medical part is going to help you open up those gifts, so that when you decide down the line that you don't want to practice modern medicine, because not all of that can heal things that holistic healing can do. That's the reason why. It helps with symptoms, it helps with maintenance. Some things do help with cures, but other things are spiritual based, emotional based traumas, and those have to be healed in different ways. But that's what you're going to learn. So you're not in the wrong field. You are right where you're supposed to be. You were right where you're supposed to be. Yeah, Tiana, for sure. Throw a question out there. I was feeling down the next morning. I heard her yell, Julie, I literally sat straight in bed. Yeah. She was like, get up. Your mom was not playing with you. Get up. What are you sitting around sad for? You're fine. Am I overthinking, or is it intuition? How can I tell the difference? Is it overthinking? How to describe the two? It's interesting because I don't know. I guess when I think about overthinking, I think about it in the sense that you're like constantly questioning something over and over and over again, or you're going down this whole rabbit hole, and necessarily, I guess that could be intuition though too, depending on what you mean by overthinking. Because I guess how I think about overthinking is when I play a scenario over and over and over again. To me, that's just overthinking. It has nothing to do with intuition. Because my intuition kicked in, I would just have an answer and I would just go with it. Is how I would see it. But I think for you, you go down this like rabbit hole of things. Like you're getting messages and more messages and more messages. And that's why you think that it's overthinking instead of it being intuitive. So I need you just to trust yourself. That's really what it comes down to, is trusting what you're hearing or what you're getting in your head about it, and like knowing that that's the truth. It's going to help you start to have more discernment, so it becomes more clear. Then you'll start to realize that it's not even really you thinking of these things or having a thought process. It's literally just pops in your head. So that's how you, I guess, to differentiate. Because thinking about something, you have to formulate a thought or formulate a plan. So there's like a whole thought process behind it. But when something just comes through and it's just boom, 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 and it's so like clear and there was no thinking involved or no thought process, that literally is intuition, if that makes sense. Is Robert's energy around still? He passed in 2009. I'm sorry for your loss. More of a spiritual question, but I'm curious. Yes, Robert's still around, and that's because Robert has not gone upstairs yet. I don't know if you felt his energy a lot, and especially like how he died, because I just see it in the sense of this pain, like this pain. I don't know if it's in his stomach or his chest. He never went upstairs. That's crazy. I still have him in my thoughts. He was really a sweet person when I was younger. He's what I needed. Yeah. He was murdered. See? And that's why I said he's not gone upstairs. I don't think he's come to terms with it. So you may be able to help him with that. It's basically where if you notice that he pops in your head at all, or you feel like his energy around you, try to talk to him and help him understand like he's passed, right? And that he needs to go upstairs and be healed. Otherwise, he's stuck down here and suffering. Sad. Oh, he does want to go upstairs. He doesn't know how. I can help him. I can help him. Give me a second. Oh, he's scared about leaving his mom behind. You guys had a really deep connection. I don't know if it was like you guys were like sweet on each other a little bit, but kind of also like you know what I'm saying, like friends or like buddies or something like that. But there's like a sense of him also having like this love towards you too. Just so you know, um, that's what he's telling me. Angels. Oh, there we go. One of his I think it's his grandma, is up there, so she'll help him. Hmm. There we go. Okay. Cool. Like a father figure. Okay. That's why I couldn't tell about him being sweet. I didn't know if it was like platonic or if it was like something else. That's why I was like, there's a love he had for you. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Oh, thank you for the gift, Julia. That was really nice. Um, I know I have spiritual gifts. I just want to be, so I just be trying to understand my intuition. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it is to tune in and see. One thing I tell people to do, and this is what I teach in my classes, to help them develop intuition, is to use a pendulum. If you I don't know if you have a pendulum or not. The pendulum is basically like you can even make a pendulum, but it's usually like a crystal or like a pointed end that hangs on like on a string. You can even make one. They used to use them as like dowsing rods back in the day. So you take like a pencil, stick like a needle in it with some thread, and then use that as a way to tell. But basically, what I told people to do was like ask a question, like a yes or no question or something like that, like a yes or no question. And then what your intuition's telling you, first thing that comes to your mind. Don't question it, anything. The first thing that comes to mind. Okay, am I supposed to date so and so or whatever? And then you're gonna write down yes or whatever, right? And then you take the pendulum, or you take the it's a pendulum. Take the pendulum and you determine for the pendulum, okay, if it goes like back and forth this way, it means no. If it goes up and down, it means yes, right? And then you use the pendulum and you go through and do and ask the same question and see if the pendulum matches. And that's how you can go and say, oh, my intuition said yes, and the pendulum said yes, then it's a yes. So it's a way to help develop it. The other part too would just be like starting just to trust it. So like let your intuition take you where you need to go. One way I know, it's funny, this might be random, but one thing that I know that's fun to do as an intuitive thing is like let your intuition guide you somewhere. So like when I've in the past gone like to the mall, right? And you're trying to find a parking spot and you're going around and you can't find one or whatever, then I'll ask my guides like, can you guys guide me? Where should I go? Where am I going to find a parking spot? And they'll literally tell me, okay, go this way. So I'll just go with it, right? I have no idea if it's going to work or not, whatever, go with it. Okay, take a left. Okay, boop, boop, boop. And literally, like clockwork, every single time, there's a spot. As soon as I come around somewhere, someone's pulling out or whatever, and it's like, boop. So it's like help you develop and build that trust in your intuition so you know what it is. Oh, Alexa. So I was helping him go to the other side, is what that basically was. So I had to open up the door, bring like had the angels come down. His grandma, I believe, is what she was telling me. I believe it's his grandma. Was waiting for him. So it was just more about helping him go up so he can be healed. Otherwise, he stays down here as a stuck soul, right? Never gets healing. Never, you know what I'm saying? He just is in torment, which happens, and it usually happens when people die abruptly, like they weren't prepared for death. So when you say he was murdered, that makes so much sense to me because he wasn't ready to go. So that's what that was me opening up the door to help him go up and then closing the door. Um, but talking to him in the meantime, because he was definitely scared about going, like not wanting to leave his mom. I think he said it was his mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome. I did send a question. Will my girls finally warm up to Rick? Um, it's hard because I what I'm getting from the guides, like it's not that they're not warmed up to Rick. I feel like it's just because they've been through so much. I don't know with if it's with their dad or with you and other relationships or whatever, but it's something that they worry about sometimes, like okay, Rick, like I don't know if it's just a natural thing. I feel like they kind of have a safety over you, like a possession over you. Like they don't want, like I don't. They're so used to you for one. I don't know if you spoiled your kids or, but there's a part where I see them always feeling like we have to protect you, mom, or they're like really protective of your energy and time. They don't want to share you with anybody else. I almost feel like there's kind of like that little battle there because you and Rick are building this like really deeper connection and love, and so I feel like your energy's more around him, or maybe you do listen to his advice or his messages at times. They feel like okay, now we're against like you. Oh, you want to listen to Rick all the time. You don't want to like be on our side or whatever. It's like a kid thing. Your kids. That's why I said I don't know if it's because they're kind of spoiled or what, but they have this idea in their head like what they say is more important, and it's like they don't realize that they're going to go on and live their lives and have, like I said, have kids and get married and do all the things. And who are you going to have next to you? Right? Like, yeah, your kids will be there, but in a sense, who you're spending your life with is going to be with Rick. So I think there's a part of them not realizing, like, if he's treating you well, they should be happy and, like, let that be what it's going to be, right? Instead of trying to, like, get in the way of it. So it's not like they're against him. I just feel like they have overprotectiveness over you, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm probably about to hop off. Anybody else have any other payments and stuff? Your kids will come around, especially as you guys build deeper into it, and he starts to become a little bit more open with them, meaning like maybe doing things for them or showing up for them to like help them move stuff or just things that he's gonna start doing that's gonna make them realize like he really is a good guy and he's not trying to, you know what I'm saying, replace their dad or anything or get in the way of your, he's not trying to control you, that kind of stuff. But he's also a little bit more like to himself and more stubborn. He kind of has like a a dry sense of humor, because I feel like that's why they kind of look at him like, you're weird. And they're just judgy. But yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm probably gonna hop off and nothing else comes up. Nobody has anything else to add. But I really do appreciate you guys. Appreciate the follows. Yeah. Appreciate the likes, the gifts, the shares. I'll try to be more on. Um, I always say that. I really don't ever get back on. I'm going to try to be more on it. I'm going to try to do some meditations during the day and then maybe try to do some more readings during the night. Some free ones here and there probably, and then some paid ones. But if you guys ever have any questions, like I said, outside of the lives, please just message me and do a question through that way. Like I said, it's only $7 a question if you just have a question. If you want a whole reading, it's all my information's on my website. So yay. Thank you for the likes. All right, so I'm gonna hop off. You guys have a good night. Let me know if you need anything. Message me if you have any questions, like I said, and we'll see you guys next time. All right. Have a good night. Bye. Night, night.